Keir Starmer, the Labour Party leader and Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, has created substantial controversy only 54 days into his tenure by suggesting a deeper collaboration with the European Union, EU. His comments have sparked passionate responses, notably among Brexit supporters who see his actions as a betrayal of the 2016 referendum, in which the British people decided to leave the EU. The debate surrounding this action looks to be only the start of a lengthy and perhaps stormy relationship between Starmer's administration and the people, especially those who believe in Brexit's objectives. Starmer is now on a diplomatic trip to key EU member nations, including Germany and France. His objective, according to official comments, is to reset the UK's relationship with Europe. He has characterized this initiative as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to reshape the parameters of the UK-EU partnership in a manner that benefits both sides. However, his critics contend that the UK chose the nature of its relationship with Europe on June 23, 2016, when it voted to leave the EU in a historic referendum. Many Brexit supporters are concerned that Starmer's diplomatic contacts indicate a plan to overturn, or at least diminish, the UK's vote to leave the European Union. There are increasing worries that his measures may allow the UK to eventually re-enter the EU through the back door, as some opponents put it. Such concerns are especially evident among those who backed Brexit as a means of reclaiming British sovereignty, and any steps seen as realigning with the EU are seen with skepticism and distrust. Some opponents have gone so far as to claim that Starmer's excursions to Europe are part of a bigger campaign to undo Brexit totally by gradually cultivating political relations that may lead to official re-establishment with the EU. They say that this might erode UK sovereignty as well as the democratic choice taken by the British people in the 2016 vote. In their opinion, Starmer's efforts are building the framework for a long-term plan to realign Britain with Europe, regardless of popular choice, leaving the UK susceptible to EU interference in future political and economic problems. Despite Starmer's attempts to portray this European trip as a diplomatic opportunity, it has not been without controversy. His actions have sparked widespread political criticism, particularly from prominent players linked with the Brexit movement. Nigel Farage, the former leader of the UK Independence Party, UKIP, is one of the most vocal opponents. Farage has been a dedicated champion for a clean split with the EU and has been outspoken in his condemnation of Starmer's actions. Farage, who is reviving his political career via his Reform UK party, is presenting himself as a strong opponent to Starmer's plans. The idea of Farage spearheading a re-energized political campaign against the Prime Minister has raised fears inside Labour. Many political observers predict Farage will be a frequent critic of Starmer, particularly if Starmer's government is viewed to be attempting to reverse or soften Brexit. Farage has warned that any effort to sabotage Brexit would be seen as a betrayal of the British people's vote and would not be tolerated. Labour's present political dominance, reflected in a sizable majority in Parliament, allows Starmer's government some leeway in setting the country's policies. This is especially true for international relations and Brexit plans. However, this supremacy may be short-lived, particularly if the Conservative Party conducts its leadership contest. With the Tories reorganising and maybe seeking new leadership, Starmer may soon confront a more organised and determined opposition. Kemi Badenoch, the Conservative Party's Shadow Secretary of State for Housing, is a key person to watch. Badenoch is well known for her keen debate abilities and strong position on Brexit. She has been a prominent voice in the Conservative Party, and her ascension through the political ranks may pose a significant threat to Starmer's leadership. Badenoch's ability to demolish political arguments, along with her strong conservative views, has propelled her to prominence in British politics. If she emerges as a Conservative Party leader, she might represent a significant danger to Starmer's government, especially in the Brexit discussion. One of the biggest hazards for Starmer's administration is underestimating the British public's strong support for Brexit. The 2016 referendum was a watershed moment in the country's contemporary political history, and any effort to reconsider or undermine the result of that vote might have serious political ramifications for Labour. Many people who supported Brexit expected their choice to be honoured and maintained by future administrations. If Starmer's government is seen as seeking to overturn or undermine that decision, it may cause considerable voter unhappiness. Many Leave supporters saw Starmer's attempts to strengthen connections with the EU as a breach of the confidence put in the government by the British population. The perception that their democratic decision is being ignored might fuel a backlash against Labour in future elections. Suppose people believe Starmer is working behind the scenes to reintegrate the UK into the EU, or just aligning more closely with European policy. In that case, Labour may lose vital support in seats that voted decisively in favour of Brexit. While Brexit is Starmer's primary political concern, other incidents have piqued the public's interest. One such issue includes the BBC and prominent personalities such as Hugh Edwards, which has sparked a national debate over the media's ethics and responsibility. Furthermore, the political atmosphere has grown more volatile, with characters such as Nigel Farage often at the centre of controversy. In one famous case, Josh Gley was convicted of 120 hours of unpaid community service and a suspended 6-week jail term for hurling objects at Nigel Farage's campaign car during a visit to Barnsley. This incident, along with numerous similar encounters, demonstrates the rising tension around politicians like Farage, especially in areas that voted decisively in favour of Brexit. As the political environment evolves, the British people will be looking intently to see how Starmer handles the continuing issues of Brexit and the UK's relationship with the EU. For many, this is a watershed moment in the country's history, and the stakes could not be greater. There you have it. Like and subscribe for more updates.